Wow, 5 years has gone so fast. Obviously, it's been a roller coaster. The world were not prepared for what was coming. I joined the company in January 2020, and then 3 months later, we were in lockdown. I was in charge of one of the largest companies in the UK, and we were on in Zoom, trying to get to know each other and also trying to see what the future awaits. So we quickly thought about a program that we could keep people engaged and our core audience engaged, and we started to do classes. And then that's where I approached William Tockett and explained that we needed a commission, and also that could be a record for the future in terms of how did we deal with the pandemic. And at that time, with the 2 meters regulation, we tried to figure out how we were going to do it if we can touch each other. And so that's why we developed architectural costumes that highlight the 2 meter rules. But of course, the 2 meter rules didn't last. We were able to touch each other and actually partner, but the architectural costume still was part of the show. But like any director, every time a director comes into the company, always trying to bring a different feel to what there was. I wanted Birmingham Royal Ballet to be a company of virtuosos, and so you need a ballet like Don Quixote. Some of the critics say that it didn't suit the British dancer, which I completely disagree. You don't have to be from Spain to be able to dance Don Quixote at that high level. I know that there were a lot of skepticism around bringing this production of Don Quixote to Birmingham Royal Ballet, that normally was a company that presented heritage British ballets, and they do it so well. But this one seems like a very dramatic and bold move. I remember me on the personal level, how can I even think that I could ever possibly perform a ballet like Romeo and Juliet or Manon if I was Cuban? But by doing it and working with the right people, you could turn yourself into Romeo, you could even surprise yourself. That it's not about where you live or where you come from. We all have the capacity to adapt and change and to master any art form when you have the right guidance, when you have the right team of people, and when you just have talent. I wanted to bring with this trilogy a dedication of the city of Birmingham. This was a point that many cultures have collided through centuries. But sometimes we don't hear so much of the many treasures that come from this city and the important role that the city has played in the history also of the world. That's what I had in my mind when I wanted to bring 3 ballets dedicated to Birmingham. So the first one was the City of a Thousand Trades, a ballet that it talks about immigration. I'm Cuban, I'm myself an immigrant, and I was always eager to explore the relationship of a foreigner when he first arrived into the city. How do you solve this nostalgia for your roots that you left behind? And I think it was just show Birmingham Royal Ballet as well, reaching out into a more contemporary and up-to-date way of moving. The second ballet was, of course, Black Sabbath. And the history of Black Sabbath is that I find myself on a plane to Havana with Jimmy Page. But I started to think about it wouldn't be a great idea to have a ballet with, rock. But the more I thought about it, I think the one that makes more sense was Black Sabbath. And this collusion of these two completely dissimilar worlds interests me. Also to bring awareness how wonderful and how great this city has been that gave cultural treasures like the Black Sabbath, which was the inventor of a genre of music, the heavy metal music. And then lastly, Luna, which again is just another important production. It was all a female-led ensemble, 5 choreographers from different parts of the world. It's the contrast of having in the same bill Luna one day and then switching to La Female Garde on another. That tells you a lot about Birmingham Royal Ballet, which is again is doing choreographies or pieces for the community that also speaks about Birmingham, bringing kids and different artists, but at the same time defending the heritage ballet that we are famous for. For BRB too, what was on my mind is that Birmingham is not one of the capital of the world. It's not Paris, it's not New York, it's not London. So if we don't attract, say, the best, the greatest dancers in the world, because they probably will be more inclined to join the Paris Opera or the Royal Ballet or American Ballet Theatre, we had to build them. We had to form and develop our greatest dancers of the world ourselves, where they had the possibility to have a tailor-made repertoire for them that tested the physicality and the skills, but at the same time, they had the benefit of joining the company in bigger ballets like Swan Lake and Nutcracker. And so by the time these 2 years finish, you have a much better dancer ready to join the company then. And I tell you, some of those dancers, it's incredible how can you spot stars already. They have created a big impact with their energy and their passion into the main company. The dancers that will lead the way in the Birmingham Royal Ballet for the future. One of the things that struck me when I first joined Birmingham Royal Ballet is that their engagement and their contribution, it goes beyond the boundaries of dance and the boundaries of stage. And this was something very new to me. For instance, about the dance track program and the dreams program and the first steps shows that they do to introduce ballet to 5-year-old, 6-year-old. I mean, that was amazing. And so I thought, okay, this had to be, the motto has to be ballet everywhere. Wherever we go on a stage, and wherever, I was very eager that wherever we go to a stage or we go on tour, that we bring that same package that is Birmingham Royal Ballet as well, wherever we go, because we are not just the show. We're trying to find what would be the next step in that kind of engagement and trying to push the boundaries. What does that look like? And there was a program, for instance, called Virtual Stage. And then we had created this incredible program that brings ballet, those who are perhaps not being able to make it to the show, they still have that kind of connectivity with ballet where they are. So in short, I've been amazed in all of the work that the company does. And I learned a lot in this process of getting to know the company and work with them and trying to grow myself as an artist and as a person. And I am really inspired every day for everyone I got to work with. So yeah, I'm very proud of this company.